Let's get to our perfect game player of the week. Big prospect. You'll see one day in the bigs, 18 years old, big dude, 6'3", 200-pounder, committed to South Carolina. His name is PJ Morlando, joining us right now on FT Live. PJ, great to have you on, man. How you doing?
Doing amazing. I appreciate you guys having me. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be real fun, man. So, have you done a lot of interviews? Obviously, you're young and you've been a big prospect already for a bit, but have you gotten to do many interviews?
Yeah, I've done a fair share all the way
Okay.
since Dixie Youth champion. So, we've been on the news with that Dixie Youth team, and I don't know. I always just felt comfortable in front of the camera. This is my first podcast this spring, so I'm excited to get after it.
So you and me have something in common, man. We got home run derby championships, you and me. So let me ask you this question: is it something that you practice for, or is it something that you just went and just dominated? I know you met Adam Jones during the whole thing. Too bad he's not on the show to talk with you, but talk to us a little bit about that home run derby and was it planned, or you just say, you know what, grip it and rip it, let's get after it?
Yeah, so my dad was deployed in Korea, and when he came back home, it was 12U season, and that Dixie Youth, we had a home run derby, and I hit 78 home runs in that home run derby. Yeah, it was pretty
Wow.
special. It was really cool to do that with my father. We practiced all the way up to probably 15, 16, and that's when I kind of taken off at the high school level and had my own BP thrower. So kind of drifted away from that. But, honestly, I enjoy hitting. I do it every day. I do it for hours at end, and I was just ready to go do it in front of that many people. This has always been my dream. I've always dreamed of hitting in front of that many people, and honestly, just to do it was an eye opener and kind of showed me that I was ready for this and I belong in this type of atmosphere.
I mean, I'm kind of a little bit mad right now because he's got a picture with Adam Jones. I was at that game. He didn't get a picture with me. I coached, but he was on the other. I think you're on the other team though.
Yeah, honestly, me and him go back. My dad was stationed with one of his buddies, and he has a son who plays baseball. He plays JUCO right now. His name is AJ Simmons, stud athlete, and we grew up together. And I guess somehow they're close, family wise or friends wise. Maybe went to high school, and we got in connections and saw him at an airport, and then home run derby, and we got to take a picture and kind of show it off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand, dude. I mean, just because I was, I'll take what's Aaron Beatty. I'll take some of those other guys that are on my team. We played against you guys out in Seattle. I don't think you did anything. Did you do anything in that game?
Yeah, I went 1 for 1 with I think
Okay.
a walk and then a single and 2 stolen bases, scored twice. So
Did anything, AJ? He did
He
basically
didn't do anything.
everything.
I think the
he
score
could
was like
besides hit a
2-1.
homer.
All he
I
did
think
Yeah.
the
was
score
knock
literally
out
was
the
like
tickets.
2-1.
I think
Is that the
I
flow?
won MVP of that game, so it was pretty special.
Listen, I'm looking
No, I
at
remember. So PJ, I remember I was obviously there for batting practice, and we got to watch the whole thing. And I remember talking to like LaTroy Hawkins, who I played with forever, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, you need to see this kid hit." And he was talking about you. And then he walked into the cage, and you were the one guy when you walked into that cage at T-Mobile Park that the bat and the ball made a different sound when you hit it. You were hitting balls like legit home runs, and I think you were the only guy in BP I even saw hit like more than one home run. But when you hit, I was like, I looked at LaTroy. I'm like, all right, so you're not an awful scout as I thought you were. But so he had an idea and he had a good eye when he saw you. He's like, hey, you need to check this dude out. So listen, props to you for winning that home run derby, and it was fun to get to watch you play for a few innings.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I love Hawkins, man. Went to Taiwan with him, and I go to war for that guy. He's a great person.
Hey, I'm looking at this video here of this, if we can show it on here, this 500-foot home run that you hit. My goodness. I mean, listen, there's home runs and then there's epic home runs. It's just one of those things where I honestly, the hands came through the zone and I'm like, wow, you got the tools, man. It's something that at a young age, that's hard to find. I was raw talented. I'm sure AJ was the same way. We went out there and just tried hitting the ball as far as we can. But look at the tools here. Is there a guy you work with, or is there you work with your father just to get going a little bit?
Yeah, so my grandfather is a 15-year professional baseball player, 10-year big leaguer. My uncle was drafted out of high school by the Giants and played at USF, so kind of a bloodline. I always hit with my mom, and then my dad. We spent hundreds of hours in the cages, just hitting. I mean, I've ruptured that guy's shoulder, man. He's been through the ringer. it's been a special, fun time hitting the cages with my family, and this is kind of memories that I'll never be able to take back. I made some lifetime memories. I used to go out in the backyard and hit rocks with the wiffle ball bat, and it was just hand-eye coordination. And I don't know, it translates onto the field, just hitting onto the river. So
It's amazing.
Dude, that's
Absolutely
cool.
amazing. What goes in to now? You're going to go to South Carolina.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean,
Yeah.
No
I
chance.
mean, listen.
Go Gators.
whatever. He let him.
All right.
That's
Either way,
yeah.
you're committed to South Carolina. Bottom line, you guys screwed my train of thought there. That's
Oops.
okay.
Just caveat, a little
At
caveat.
the end of the day, say you do go to South Carolina, you got to go and commit, get a routine. I think the biggest thing for you, or my question for you would be is, what is your routine? How do you go about your everyday business? Because if not, you're going straight to the minor leagues, and now you're going to have to find that routine. What routine do you have every day that you go through hitting-wise that gets you going?
yeah, so I spend mostly an hour, maybe an hour and a half on the tee. I love the tee. It's a great feel system for me. I've done the same routine for about 2 years now. Every single day when I get off onto the cages, I go hit inside, stay inside the ball, and it's just helps me get through the ball and stay into the zone. I spend hours on the tee, man. It's just, I think that's my love. There's a lot of people who hate the tee, but I think it's the most underutilized tool that there is for baseball. I'm a huge drill guy, huge feel guy. There's a lot of data and there's a lot of technology into the game right now, and I think it's really cool. I think it's a great way to kind of help yourself get ready for the game, and I just personally love the tools, man. It's a great thing to do. So yeah.
There you go.
PJ,
I like that.
now we just talked about you being committed to South Carolina. Okay, you're listed right now as a top 10 possible draft pick. Dude, you ain't going to South Carolina. Let's go. Besides, you don't want to go to South Carolina, get your ass beat by Florida 3 years, and then
Oh, don't
stop it.
listen to him.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
I mean,
me, Bonnie Lee, and Kingston, man. That's a tight trio right there. It's a tight trio.
all right, but is there okay? So I know it's changed now since Todd and I were drafted forever ago. But do the scouts, when they talk to you, do they say, "Hey, is there a number?" And you don't have to give us that number, but is there a number where you say, "Hey, if you give me, let's say $5 million, then I'm definitely not going to South Carolina."
There is, but as of right now, there's not really much talk about it. It's kind of just go out and do your thing, and then we'll see right after spring when decisions are going to have to be made. So yeah, right now there isn't really much of that.
Okay, because listen, one of the hardest phone calls I ever had to make in my life was I had to call. Todd went to college, but I signed out of high school. I had to call Tennessee where I was going and say, hey, Coach Delmonico, I'm signing, and then they give you "Are you sure? Because we could really use you here." So, it's a tough phone call, but you come across, at least from the times I've been around you now talking to you, as a guy that's mature enough to handle going to the minor leagues out of high school. Because honestly, I would recommend for most kids to go to college, but your maturity and from what I saw from you out there at the All-American game in Seattle, you have the tools and the makeup, I feel like, to do it.
Well, I appreciate it. Seriously, this has been my lifetime goal, my dream, and I'm not going to stop till it happens. So,
who would you say you mimic your game after? Is there somebody that not only do you look up to? Yeah, tell me who you loved as a youngster. Well, you're still young, but who's the guy you look up to, and who you think the way you play the game mimics?
yeah, so there's been a lot of comparisons within Josh Hamilton, but I really didn't see myself with Bryce Harper. Like I love the way that he plays the game. I love the way that he comes through in the atmosphere, and I mean he's just clutch, man. He's an unreal player to watch. If there's any young players watching this right now, go watch Bryce Harper. The way that he carries himself on and off the field. I mean that guy's just a competitor. He's a warrior, and I promise you that if one of his teammates was going through it, man, he'd go to war for that guy. And so, I just love watching him play and trying to translate that in my game.
That's cool. Yeah, and I don't know if you remember, but when Bryce first got to the league, he had so much hype around him, right? And obviously he's lived up to it if you look at his overall performance back at the baseball card, the whole deal, right? But when he first entered the league, it was tough for him because he was hyped up. Some people were like, he's overrated. The expectations were so high. You don't have that anymore. So did you kind of follow his career arc and how he's changed his persona and how, people think of him as a ball player? Because there used to be a lot of people who were like, oh, I don't like him, he's overrated. You don't hear that as much anymore. Now, I didn't agree with it, but then now all you hear is like, this dude carries himself. He's devoted to Philly. What do you think about the way that he's perceived?
Man, I'm gonna be real. I did not like Bryce Harper in his first years. I always thought of him as like a douche. That's just the way I saw him. But I mean, growing up and playing now, I see that you kind of have to have that in you. You know, you got to have that dog in you to compete. So now looking at it, you have to have it, and he has it. So
Listen, that kind of goes with me. When my grandparents would play Frank Sinatra in the house, I hated it, and then that was the song I came out to when I played for the rest of my career.
You
So
embraced it.
it's like a fine wine, brother. You'll know that when you get old. It takes a little time.
Hey,
Yeah. I think a lot of people have changed their opinion on Bryce though from when he came up. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You can change people's minds. Nice to see that people get an opportunity to do that.
absolutely.
All right. So last year, you're kind of the darling this year of Perfect Game, right? You're Mr. Perfect Game. Okay. Last year was Max Clark. So who's the bigger star, and who's going to have a better career?
Oh my goodness. Well, I love Max. We spent plenty of hours playing Fortnite together and talking some game. You know, we kind of have a close friend base. When he played for the Indiana Bulls, I was friends with all of his close friends. So kind of just wind up talking to each other. I loved him and Walker Jenkins, man. I love it. And honestly, what I see it as is like me and Connor Griffin, and it's the same as Walker and Max, man. I feel like we're on and off the field. We're just good people, and we just enjoy the game. We play it for fun, and you know, we're kind of decent at it. So yeah.
AJ, do you love his last name?
I mean, if you took the end off, it'd be better.
You know, PJ, you're talking to the mayor of Orlando right now.
We're from Clearwater, so we figured, but when we say it, when we spell it, it's Orlando, and then you just put an M in front of it because there's no E, and everybody wants to put an E in front of it. So
I like it. I like it. Yeah, just you know what you should tell your parents: just chop the M off. It'd be better.
yeah, for sure.
We're gonna legally change our name, Orlando. It's perfect.
I mean,
Scott, you're an Orlando resident now, so stop it. Stop it.
I like Orlando. I'm
hate.
just saying I'm not the mayor. I'm the opposite of the mayor. You're the mayor, and also PJ. AJ's been kind of like publicly petitioning to get a ball club there, which I don't think he's going to be successful with, but he's trying.
Worth a shot. I mean, I grew up a Rays fan, so I mean, go move in Tropicana, man. That's a beautiful place. I love Tropicana.
No, dude, you're lying. No. I take everything nice I said about you because now you're just lying. That place sucks.
No.
I swear, I love Tropicana.
Why? For what?
Because
the atmosphere?
He can hit it out. He can hit it through that place.
Polish Joey. I don't know. Hey, I like Bryce Harper, man. He is 16U or 18U, whatever. He hit that nuke off the scoreboard. I don't know. I've always wanted to go try it. I mean, that seems fun, like competition.
Yeah, but as a fan, like so you're a Rays fan growing up. Did you went to a lot of Rays games?
Oh, hundreds.
Wow.
Well,
you thought the fan experience was good compared to other ballparks?
Well, have you ever heard of a Rays fan? They're pretty rare. It's like we're extinct.
I know. Oh, I know. But that's why it's not very full. Obviously, that park in general. I mean, that's the worst park I've been to. I think there's 2 or 3 parks I haven't been to out of the 30.
Seriously?
That's the worst one I've been to.
You haven't been to all the parks?
No.
Come on, man.
Seriously?
You've been working in this MLB industry for how long now?
Yeah. Do you know why? Because I would do a game of the week real quick. I'd do a game of the week and playoff coverage. And when I started doing that, it was right after the Pirates were good. I haven't been to Pittsburgh yet. That's one.
Wow, you got to get there.
And I know that's not the worst, so I can talk shit about the Rays. I live nearby there. I mean, dude, you got to be pumped, though, that they're trying to get a new ballpark together, though. It's going to be better than the experience you had as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but the best thing was there was never a missed game. There was never a missed game. I mean, I would go out to my Little League practices, and it would be canceled in 30 minutes because the rain just comes out of nowhere. You know, I think they did a good job. I think there's some history in there, and I don't know. I just loved watching Sam Fold and Evan Longoria do their thing in there.
Oh my gosh!
No,
listen, you just dropped a Sam. You want to play for the Phillies? Super Sam Fold.
He dropped the Sam Fold.
Next thing you know, he'll be like, "Man, I love Jason Tyner and Toby Hall."
Hey, I'm not mad at him. Not mad. Hey, listen, he likes who he likes. You can't complain. I got one more.
Wait, no, hold up. How many? I want to know if he's been to more stadiums than Scott. How many stadiums have you been to?
Not that many, maybe 5 or 6, but I played in 3 of them. So,
are you guys seriously giving me shit that I've been to like 27 or 28 ballparks?
I'm so confused right now.
Why are you confused about that?
We'll talk about it.
Okay, I wasn't a major league player. I work in television. I do games. We don't get to go to every ballpark for every game. Think about it. That
I think I've got 3 that I haven't done a game in. Cincinnati, Oakland, and Arizona. I haven't done games in. So
okay, so
I
you're
understand.
basically the same as me
hey,
as a broadcaster.
And you've only been doing it for how many years, AJ?
This will be my 8th year. So
damn,
Yeah, and
I
I'm
thought
like
you were only
12.
like 3 years in, dude. That's
No, dude,
terrible.
no, dude, I've been doing this for a while, bro.
PJ,
he looks like a young pup.
last question
sir.
for me, dog, because everybody asks this. We talk about it all the time. It brings up topic. Do you believe in playing other sports? You know, getting your body in different positions. Or have you played other sports? Do you play other sports? And you know, are you not just a full-time baseball player? Because I think, in my opinion, I'm raising my kids, and my dad did the same thing. Play basketball, play soccer, play football, whatever it is. Do you play other sports?
I played basketball all the way up to 8th grade year. I committed to Mississippi State my 8th grade year, and so I was kind of like, I got to focus on baseball. I'll go play pickup, man. I got a video right now of last week where I went out to the courts and dunked and was shooting some threes. So I mean, I still love it, man. I think basketball's a great sport, great for endurance and just strengthening your shot. So I mean, you know, I preach it. I preach it. When I have a son, he's gonna try to play 3. My mom wouldn't let me play football, but I might let my son do it a little bit.
Wait, so did you have to call Mississippi State and be like, "Hey, uh, unfortunately, I'm really, really freaking good at baseball, so I'm not going to go to you for basketball." Todd Father got some basketball asks.
Listen, you were going to Mississippi State for basketball after 8th grade?
No. Baseball.
Whoa,
all right,
you decommitted from
oh.
cheese? You decommitted from cheese?
Jeez, who the hell is he talking about?
PJ knows who cheese is, dude. Ask him.
I love cheese. I love
See?
cheese. I love Limones.
I love
everything.
cheese too.
I don't.
Foxhall, man. Foxhall was my big recruiter. Kind of a family guy, tight knit, and when he got released, man, we just had to kind of sit back and kind of relive the roller coaster a little bit and just see what the best option was. And my mom said at the beginning that South Carolina was probably the first choice, and I mean, moms know best, so I had to sit back and reconsider. And South Carolina, when Monty Lee was added to that roster, it's the right fit for me. With that fan base, man, I'm excited.
I like
Dude,
it.
I'm texting cheese right now.
Yo, don't text cheese. Text mozzarella cheese.
Text
first.
cheese.
Tell him I love him.
Yeah. Tell him that PJ loves him and Scott's allergic to dairy, so he doesn't like him. PJ, you got the PG hat on, the perfect game hat. So how's your experience been there? Who, have you made friends with? Obviously, you mentioned some of the dudes that you made friends with, but can you kind of give us some insight on your experiences there? And also the fact that if you play against top level competition, in my mind, the biggest separator is, of course, that if you play against competition like that, when you then get to start climbing levels, right? College maybe, but minors, et cetera, to get up to the bigs, you're playing against guys that you've already played against. It ups the level of competition compared to just like local and travel ball, right?
Absolutely. I started playing PG at 14. I went out to a showcase and I got invited to the Canes National, and that was just awesome. Opened up so many opportunities for me. Going into my last year of travel ball, it was with Coach Petty, and I basically got a minor league experience going out to practice in 4 games and having to wake up and eat. And honestly, you learn failure at such an early age. So, I mean, I think looking to the future is we've experienced it all already. Some of us are more prepared than the others, but it's such an awesome opportunity just to go out there and play against some of the peers that are just the top in the country and honestly top in the world. I mean, we faced so many guys from the Dominican and got to experience different pitchers, different arms, and that led us to Team USA. And I got to experience a different country for a month and play against some of the top level in the world. So yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. It's been such a fun journey, and I couldn't thank PG enough. I mean, just everything they've done for me and my family, and I'm just so glad we got to experience it together.
All right, so Todd hasn't lived this yet, but he will. He's got young kids to hopefully make it. Can you explain Jupiter, perfect game Jupiter, and what it's like, especially in the fall, and how many golf carts there are, and how many scouts and colleges are there? I mean, I went for the first time with my son this year, and it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I went there. I think this year was my 3rd year, and that first year I think I went 0 for 3 that first day with 3 Ks against a Duke commit, and the hardest thing is to keep your composure. I mean, this is, like I said, I mean, I was probably 15 with 300 golf carts sitting behind my game, 200 being college and 100 being pro scouts. Like it's tough. But again, like that's what I'm saying. It prepares you for the future. I mean, that just showed us how to kind of compose your anger and just put it into the game. Like, don't let it affect your game. Now going over the years, like Jupiter just doesn't affect me. Like after looking at it, it's fun. All the scouts are just robots. They're just there. You know, there's different ways to portray the scouts. So it's been pretty cool to kind of experience it all.
No, it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. By the way, Cheese just texted me back, said he hasn't slept since you decode from him. So he appreciates that he's lost more hair and it's a lot grayer because you decode to him and went to his rival in South Carolina.
I love that guy, man. Sorry, Cheese. I love you.
Did you? By the way, speaking of Cheese, did you see him at Jupiter this year? They had like a bright green cart because they forgot to order golf carts. So everyone at WWBA, which is the biggest perfect game thing in the world in Jupiter, everyone rents golf carts. Schools. I mean, there's like 500 golf carts around, just driving around, and all of a sudden, Cheese, he pulls up in this bright green golf cart. And I'm like, Cheese, what? I'm like, what the hell? And he goes, dude, we forgot to order golf carts. We had to get it secondhand. And it was like jacked up. And I'm like, it's the most perfect golf cart for you to be riding around in. It was unbelievable.
That is such a Cheese thing to do, man.
That's so Cheese.
This is gonna be the word of the week here, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, I want to finish. With this for you, PJ. I can ask these two guys actually. Any advice for him in terms of interviews? Because I will say, dude, you're awesome. You should continue this. Don't like rise up and start doing we're taking it one game at a time. You know, I'm just focusing on blah, blah, blah. I mean, obviously sometimes if it's like a place that only wants you to say that, that's fine. But still be yourself, right? And that's all I'll say because I didn't play. But what do you guys got for him?
No, I think what he's doing now is solid. He's being himself, smiling, enjoying the moment, and don't let anything get too big. You can always revert back to the team if you get stuck. You know, hey, listen, team's doing well, blah, 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 but you know what you're doing, bro. You're a natural, man. And then we wish you well, bro. I can't wait to watch you playing in the big leagues and say I talked to you before, and maybe we'll get his baseball card and send it out. You could sign it for our kids. That'd be great, brother.
Man, thank you so much.
You got it.
Appreciate that.
AJ?
I mean, just keep doing what he's doing right here. I mean, listen to him talk. I mean, keep working like you talk about and just be yourself. Like when people ask questions, give them honest answers. Now, there are times where you can't give them all the answers, like the complete truth, but at least give them enough to where they can go write their story and they'll leave you alone. But yeah, just stay the way you've been because this has been a fun interview and I'm happy for you. And, you ain't making South Carolina. In my opinion.
That's going to show up on Twitter.
Listen, it would take you to not get a hit all spring, and you still probably wouldn't make South Carolina. So I'm just saying.
Hey, money's got to be right. I'll just say that because he won't. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I think if you're in the top 10, Scott, the money's usually right.
That's true.
top 100 now. The money's usually right. So
true.
Yeah,
true.
Good luck, bro. Tear it up, man.
I couldn't thank you guys enough, man. This has been really fun, and I've enjoyed it. I mean, it's pretty much an honor, man. This is awesome.
Hey, it was really great having you. One of the best interviews we've had for this. So thanks again, man. Congrats on Perfect Game Player of the Week, too, and being highlighted here. And we'll see you down the road, all right?
Sounds good. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good one.